Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxie and this is my team builder for week 5 of season 6 of the CPC. This week I am playing Zamcro, coach of the Blackmont Raikougars. So Zamcro is someone I've played, I believe, twice in the past. I played him last season in the CPC D League, and I beat him there. It was, I think, the last week of the regular season, or maybe second last. And then I played him in the March Madness tournament. He was in my pool. Yeah, and I beat him there. I think both times I beat him were 4-0, so I'm hoping to keep that win streak versus him and keep that alive and keep that going. So after a rough start to this season at 0-2, I did win my last 2 games, so we're now 2-2 in a decent spot. We're kind of back to the beginning, basically. We are 2-2 with a neutral differential, so basically right back to even, and you know, after a rough start, I was able to bring it back, and I'm looking okay. So I'm in a position where I can keep winning, and I can make playoffs, and I'm in an okay position now, instead of like a terrible one from being 0-2. So I'm just gonna read off Zamcro's team and put it on screen, and my team too. I did not make any transactions from the last week, so same roster from last week, but yeah, so my team will be on screen, and Zamcro's team is the Omega Gallade, Tappy Feeney, Alolan Muck, Licky Licky, Bronzong, Thunderous T, Silvally, Gligar, Kartana, Turtana, Turtonator, whatever that Pokemon's name is, and then Haunter. So the Z users are Haunter and Kartana, that's why they are darker, and mine are obviously Garchomp and Floatzel. So first off, we have this Assault Vest Thunderous, mainly physical. The reason for the Assault Vest is I really just didn't need any other item. Like, I just slapped on the attacks first, and Choice Scarf didn't really make sense. I felt like I didn't have any one move to lock myself into for the most part. I mean, maybe like Wild Charge, but I felt like I didn't need to. Fly does seem kind of weird considering I'm not a Z Crystal, which I mean I can't be on Thunderous because that's not one of my Z users, but or even like one herb, the Power Herb, which would allow me to use Fly in one turn. But I'm fine. Like, if I can bring a Sing in after the Gallade picks up a kill, or maybe even switch a Sing in versus the Gallade if I am that aggressive. But I can just go for a Fly and then scare him out. Or even, like, he can switch as I go up in the air on Fly, and then I can still get off decent damage for something like Bronzong. I mean, I can do much versus Bronzong, but he can't do too much versus me, and I can still just pivot out the following turn, or even, like, versus the Licky Licky, which can switch in pretty comfortably to the Fly. I can still just, the following turn, just click U-turn, and then bring in Metacham or something. So I felt like that's fine, and then, like, even if I'm up against something, like, that is going to stay in versus me, I can Fly, and then, like, it's probably not going to be able to attack me that turn anyways. So that turn is probably going to be a waste for my opponent anyways, so I felt like Fly is still viable, even though it will take 2 turns every time I use it. The speed is for the max speed Jolly Mega Gallade, just to creep at that. The offense, I don't think there's any specific reason for that mix, but I just wanted to make sure I had some special attack, and this does allow me to 2-KO Gligar. It's not like, it's not invested just for that. Like, I know the Fizdef Gligar, I can definitely 2-KO even with the Eviolite Spadef. If he has Eviolite, if you like max Spadef, I don't think I can, but if I can knock off the Eviolite, then I can. So yeah, it's just a nice mixed attacker, can pivot, it's got dual stab, it's a good mon. Next we got Todd, this Choice Scarf Keytran. The speed on this is just enough so I can outspeed Mega Gallade, it's with my Scarf intact, because that's a fast amount on his team, and there's nothing really below me that I think would be a Scarfer, so I felt like I didn't need to creep anything below, and that allows me to not have to carry too much speed. I can still go modest and still have 80 in the HP, which is not bad at all. I really only need Dual Stab plus Earth Power as coverage. The reason that I Flamethrower Fire Blast is because Fire Blast is a bad move. We do know that it's a bad move, and it'll miss, you know, so whatever. And I felt like it'll be easier to spam Flamethrower because Fire Blast can miss, and like I don't have to rely on Fire Blast late game. So Flame Charge in the last slot is mainly in case if I get knocked off, like if I could switch this thing into the Muck, maybe into the Gallade if I'm predicting a Zen Headbutt, and he clicks Knock Off in that case, which is possible. Kartana could have Knock Off, and that could be a very, very safe move, and a very viable move to go for if he thinks I'll go into Tran, or just a safe play. So I'm okay with losing my Scarf, because I can still essentially gain it back by going for a Flame Charge and still have the benefits of a Scarf, while not actually being locked in, so I can switch up my moves, which could be really helpful. Could just like Thunderous or like something else like Kartana, something faster. I mean, it could be Scarf too, so this might not be the fastest mon on both rosters, but it'll be something that's faster than the Gallade for sure, and that'll be nice. His Fire Resist, he doesn't have too many, and his Steel Resist doesn't have too many either, so I felt like late game I can spam one of my stabs and be in a pretty good spot. I might be able to pick up some kills, might be able to sweep this Heatran. Next, we got my Mega Man gem here. So, not bringing a bulky Mega Man gem like I did the past couple weeks. Bringing just a pretty offensive one, kind of normal. Just slap with the coverage I need, basically. Originally, I did have the top 3 attacks and then sub, but I felt like Bullet Punch is a little more practical. And really, the only thing I have a sub against is probably the Licky Licky, which I don't really expect to come, honestly, because I have Medi and also do have Heracross, so I felt like I have things to scare it out, and I mean, it can kind of help versus some things in my team, like Thunderous, like Garchomp, to an extent, but I felt like my 2 fighting types really pressure it, and his team doesn't have the best fighting answers anyways, that I feel like he's not going to put himself in that position to where I can just pressure him that much with my 2 fighting types. But if he does, that's great for me. I can still bring in Medi on that, and I feel like Bullet Punch still can be useful. I mean, Sub would be great if he does bring it, but I don't know if he will bring it, and Bullet Punch still could be useful. Like if Thunderous, I mean, it's not going to do doing that much to Thundy, but if it has like both dances up, which you might be able to set up, I might be able to get both boosts versus like Drapion or something, or if it gets 1 boost up and it's like if it gets the speed boost up and everything on my team is in range to die, if he's low enough, I can pick him off with Bullet Punch, or just Bullet Punch can get off some shit versus any things that are faster. It's not great in the matchup, but still kind of useful. Ice Punch, Poison Jab, Drain Punch, really all the coverage I need. Ice Punch, Drain Punch hits everything pretty much, barring Feeny, and Poison Jab hits Feeny. Yeah, the speed is for Max Speed Adamant Mega Gallade. Originally I was Max Speed Timid Haunter, which is that hits 318, so I hit 317, but there's a speed gap at 318, so I was 319, then I realized Mega Gallade, if he's Adamant Max Speed, could be 319, so I just want to make sure I had speed that in case if he is Adamant. I don't think he will be, but if he wants to get a little bit ballsy, and he might think that my Meta Gem will be Adamant, then I want to make sure I outspeed that. Next we got Suri, the Drapion here, so knockoff EQ Poison Jab Pursuit. You might notice the Gracium Z right here. Drapion is not one of my Z Crystal holders, but I can still put a Z Crystal on it as long as it's not one I will click and will use. I don't have a Gracium here, as you can see. So the reason I have the Gracium Z on it, or just any Z Crystal, doesn't really matter which one, but I chose Grass because I just don't have that offensive move, is because I can switch into knockoffs better from stuff like a Alolan Muck, and just take knockoffs better in general, and not have to take the additional damage, mainly from Muck, honestly. That's why I have this. I could have ran Shuka or something for like an Earthquake from like a Ligar or like Bronzong maybe, but I felt like honestly just no item is still pretty good. And the reason I still have the Gracium Z on here and not just no item is because that way he cannot see at the team preview that I have no item, and might think, oh, it's a Muck switch in, which I mean it's still a naturally pretty good Muck switch in, but just having the no item and not giving him the knockoff boost is going to be helpful in switching into that Muck and being a good switch in and answer to that. And I do have the Earthquake for coverage for that. Knockoff could just be a safe play to knock off Muck's Viggy or whatever berry, as then that will allow him to not recycle. He can't get it back after I knock it off, so that's really helpful. Or a safe play for him could be going into the Gligar, in which case I can knock off the Eviolite. I don't have Ice Fang for it, but I feel like the coverage I have is what I need. Like I do need Poison Jab for Feeny. Pursuit could be helpful to get damage on the Bronzong, or to trap the Haunter, which could be pretty scary late game, because it probably could be Scarfed if it does come. So having Pursuit is nice. The speed is just like an outspeed, max speed, Timid Feeny. And then the HP, so I can live 2 Specs Sludge Waves from a Haunter, or 2 Sludge Waves from a Specs Haunter. That's what I invested for here. I was kind of debating what I wanted to do, but that was what I ended up going for, just so I have a fair amount of bulk and still a fair amount of offense here, and it's just a pretty good mixed mon in terms of having speed, bulk, and power, and it does the job for the most part. So it's a nice pivot into some things. Yeah, next we got James, the Garchomp here. Shelter Rock, Toxic, Dragon Claw, and Earthquake. Same moveset I ran a couple weeks ago, or I think 2 weeks ago, versus Mio. And I'm just now realizing I don't think I put these EVs in attack for the game. I don't think I did. Maybe Showdown messed up and got rid of them, but I think I might have just not put them back in. Maybe. I forget, honestly. It didn't really come into play, from what I remember. But I feel like I put it back. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's supposed to be an attack. I'll just leave it out in case if I didn't have him actually in the game. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Didn't really matter though, so that's good. I was just not sure how much I wanted to invest in Garchomp's bulk, and I feel like I did put it in. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And then so I was not sure how much to put in my attack yet. Because originally I was just going to be like max HP, max speed, and I wanted to be like max defense, max HP, so I could switch into the Gallade. Like if I'm max, I can actually take 2 close combats, which is great. If I'm max, and have the Yachi, I can, from +2, I can take the close combat, or take the Ice Punch from full. So that's why I wanted to go max, but only want 112 and then 4. But this defense, I can live 2 Zen Headbutts from a Jolly, from the Jolly Glade. Either 2 Zen Headbutts or 1 +2 Zen Headbutt. And also the bulk allows me to live a hidden power +2 hidden power ice from a Thunder's Teeth. That's with my Yachi, of course. And then speeds for max speed 2 with Thundy. And then I might have had the attack. Honestly, I don't know if it was actually in there for the game. Hopefully it was, but I guess it didn't really matter, or I didn't really notice during the game. But whatever. So I guess it just made me think his mons were bulkier than they were, probably. Whatever. So then last but not least, we were bringing Marshtomp for the first time, bringing Boston Rob, the beast here. So we got Ice Punch, Waterfall, Earthquake, and Endeavor. This is a pretty nice board here. So originally I wanted to go max on my Garchomp, like I said, but I realized I think Marshtomp is a better fat, physically defensive mon to switch into the Glade if I need to, or just to take any one hit, because I can take the close combat, and then with this little cool move here, with that cool move there, I can if I live a hit from like Glade or Thundy and I'm low, I can put them really low and then finish them off with like a hit from Scarf Tran or from Bullet Punch and Medi, and it's really nice. So that's a cool tech. He probably will not expect it, so it definitely could come into play. Then really these 3 offensive moves are really all I need. I don't need rocks in this because I have him on Garchomp, and I did consider throwing rocks on this too, just because he does have a fair amount of defaulters actually, and does have some pretty viable ones like the Feeny, like the Silvally, Thundurus, and Gligar to an extent, and Kartana to a limited extent. But this is really all the coverage I need. I mean, like Kartana can set them in the face, but I feel like Kartana 1 doesn't have the best matchup versus me. Still could come, but I do have like good checks to it. Like James has a good amount of bulk, and naturally Suri is a pretty good switch in, and just typing wise matches up well. Scarf Heatran's good for that, so as long as you're not speed boosting, I can take it on, and even if he is, I can take a Secret Sword. Thundy defensively matches up well, it has good typing for it, so for my mons, honestly deal with Kartana just naturally pretty well, so I feel like I wasn't too scared of Kartana anyways, and then this is just a nice pivot into some of his offensive mons, and it's pretty fat, honestly. Marshtomp is thicker than you would expect. But yeah, that's the team: Marshtomp, Garchomp, Drapion, Mega Medicham, Heatran, and Thundurus Eye. So I'll see you guys with the battle that'll go up tomorrow. I'm not sure how often I'm going to do the team builders in a separate video. I'm going to try to keep doing them, but I don't know how often they will be. Next week, hopefully, will be. If it is a separate video, it'll go up on Wednesdays. But yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow with the battle on Thursday. Yeah.